On the 1408 machine, the stitches have width and length preset. Simply dial up the stitch you require. On the 1409 machine, the stitch length can be altered using the stitch length dial. To adjust the zigzag width, use the pattern selector guide. Reverse sewing. This lever lets you sew in reverse. Straight stitch. Snap on the general purpose foot. On the 1408, select one of the 3 straight stitches. Each offers varying stitch lengths. For regular sewing, use this one. On the 1409, there are 2 straight stitch selections, centre and left needle position. You can use either one for your regular sewing. For most of your sewing, you can use the centre needle position. There are seam guidelines on the edge of the plate to help you guide the edge of your fabric depending how much seam allowance you want. To begin sewing, place your fabric under the presser foot, then lower the presser foot. Step on the foot controller and sew a few stitches. Press down on the reverse lever to sew a few reverse stitches. This will secure the seam to keep the stitches from coming undone. Release the reverse lever and the machine will sew forward again. Do the same procedure to finish the seam. To remove your sewing from the machine, turn the hand wheel towards you until the needle is in its highest position. Then continue turning it toward you until the needle just slightly begins to go down again. This will ensure that your threads do not tangle or jam when you begin sewing again. Raise the presser foot, leaving the needle in the highest position, pull the fabric toward the back and cut the thread with the machine's thread cutter. Zigzag stitch. Snap on the general purpose foot. The zigzag stitch is used for finishing or overcasting raw fabric edges to prevent the fabric from fraying. The presser foot must be placed along the fabric so the needle stitches along the left side of the fabric, while overcasting the right raw fabric edge. On the 1408 machine, there are 4 zigzag options. Turn the pattern selector dial to the zigzag stitch of your choice. On the 1409 machine, turn the pattern selector to zigzag. The width of the zigzag stitch will change as the dial is turned. To achieve a satin zigzag, adjust the stitch length dial to a lower number. Other utility stitches and their applications. Multi-stitch zigzag. Snap on the general purpose foot. The multi-stitch zigzag is ideal for attaching elastic or overcasting. It's also perfect for darning tears. Reduce the stitch length for darning. Buttonholes. Your machine includes an easy-to-use 4-step buttonhole. Attach the buttonhole foot. Mark your fabric with a fabric marker so you know exactly where to sew your buttonhole. Slightly reduce the upper thread tension by moving the tension dial to a lower number. For model 1409, adjust the stitch length dial in the blue range under 1 to adjust the density. Use a backing or stabilizer for fine or stretch fabrics. Notice the small markings on your buttonhole foot. These should be lined up with the top of the buttonhole drawn on the fabric. Lower the presser foot so that the buttonhole center line marked on the fabric aligns with the center of the buttonhole foot. With the needle in highest position, follow the 4-step sequence from one step to another with the pattern selector dial. When moving from step to step, Ensure the needle is raised before turning the pattern selector dial. When sewing steps 1 and 3, only sew 4 to 6 stitches. When sewing step 2, only sew as far back as the marking on your fabric. When finished, pull the threads through to the back and tie off manually. For sewing on buttons, slip on the darning plate and snap on the button sewing foot. Position your fabric and button under the presser foot so that the openings on the button are aligned parallel. For model 1408, set the pattern selector dial to match the width of the holes on the button. For model 1409, select one of the narrow zigzag patterns according to the distance between the 2 holes of the button. Lower the presser foot, turn the hand wheel towards you and make sure the needle clears both opening of the button. If not, adjust the stitch width accordingly. Sew approximately 10 stitches across. When finished, pull the threads through to the back and tie off manually. On behalf of our dedicated team, congratulations on the purchase of your new Singer sewing machine. Singer. More than just sewing. Singer, standing for innovation, superior quality and remarkable quality for money.